Fuck it, in this video, I'm gonna reveal exactly how I would make my first $10,000 with growth operating if I had to again in 2026. By the end of this video, I have one goal only. It's for you to know the exact blueprint you can take in order to not only get your first client, learn exactly how to provide the service and start getting paid. Now, if you're someone who's experienced, at the end of this video, I'm gonna give you an opportunity to fast track this and get results quicker, so stick to the end. So there's a lot of misconceptions when it comes to growth operating or how you should go about it. The first thing is always to get a client. Now, there's numerous ways you can go about getting a client. Number one is doing outreach, another one is doing emails, another one is doing Looms. There's a lot of ways you could go about getting a client. My personal favorite is Instagram outreach. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you exactly what's the best outreach, because once again, if I tell you what's the best outreach, it would no longer work. But when you're doing outreach, you have one goal and one goal only. Your goal is to get out of the request folder. Once you can get out of the request folder, then you pitch your message. So your first message should be something just that causes curiosity to the person viewing the message. So it could be a hello, it could be are you still running your offer? Maybe just a question. Once you get a message from them back, a positive reply, then you pitch them your offer. Now, when it comes to pitching the offer, the best technique that I like using is sending them a short voice memo. And the reason why I do that is because a voice memo, you have to listen. And the goal with doing outreach is for them to listen to your message. A lot of people do outreach and don't even get heard, let alone even reply to. So get out of the request folder and get your message read. Now, once your message is read, and if you get a positive reply after that, then it's you push for a call, and then you push, to selling them whatever you have. Now, if you don't get a positive reply, that doesn't mean the game's over. All that means is that you have to continue following up. And having been on both sides of things, being the person who gets the outreach and doing the outreach, I could tell you for a fact, they see your message, they just don't reply. So if you continuously follow up over and over and over, they're gonna show them that you are actually dedicated and you want that position, and then they'll eventually reply just telling you whether they're interested or they're not interested. Now, if you do 25 outreach every single day, within a week, you should genuinely get your growth operating client. Now, it's not gonna be the best client, but you're gonna get a client nonetheless. And if you're someone who wants a guaranteed client, click the first link below and apply to my Typeform to work with me one-on-one. Now, that's then gonna lead us to the second thing when it comes to growth operating, actually understanding the systems and what you are currently going to offer the person. A lot of people get into growth operating, especially people in the high ticket sales space, but they don't understand what systems to use or even how to use them. But once you get that first client, I'm gonna go through a list of the systems that you're gonna have to be proficient at to excel as a growth operator. And if you're missing any single one of these systems, you're not going to be able to scale with your client. Number one is Go High Level. Go High Level is a pipeline management. So when a lead comes inside of the funnel, what Go High Level does is it allows you to categorize the leads inside of their stages, and allows for your setters and closers to follow up with them when it's needed. You have a setter contact them, it allows you to move them to a next pipeline stage that maybe says to contact them in 6 hours, and then the next one, and then so forth and so on. So Go High Level is the most important tool you're gonna have to understand as a growth operator. And this is what every single one of you guys have to know. And the easiest way to do this and to learn more about this is by simply going on YouTube and looking up Go High Level breakdowns and Go High Level tutorials. The second most important tool you're gonna have to understand how to use is ClickFunnels. Now, there's numerous tools you could use. You can use ClickFunnels, you can use Framers. What ClickFunnels is for building out the funnel and the landing page. A lot of people want to use Go High Level and have it all in one. I preferably don't like that. ClickFunnels allows you to have more customization when it comes to things on your landing page and with the way your funnel is built out. There's a bunch of tutorials on YouTube on how to build a funnel. You could easily go and watch those and become pretty proficient with ClickFunnels. Now, that's gonna bring us to the next tool, which is Zapier. Zapier is also a tool that's relatively easy to use once you start to understand it. There really is no learning curve. All you have to do is set up one Zap, and then you'll quickly understand how to set up the other Zaps. And the best thing about Zapier is that if you don't know, it has some AI co-pilot that makes it so easy to set up whatever Zap you're trying to make. Another tool is an email marketing software. There's Beehive, there's ConvertKit. My personal favorite is ConvertKit. It's very, very cheap. And something like this, you get the client to pay. And this is a quick bonus for every single one of you guys watching this video. Almost all of these tools, you get that client to pay. day. Now, once you turn this to an agency, then you can maybe take them off to have a little bit more leverage. But if you're starting out, get the client to pay for every single one of these tools. The next one is Typeform. Typeform is very, very easy to understand. It's simply just a form to collect data, to understand where the lead is, how interested they are, and to be able to segment them better. Now, those are the 4 to 5 tools that you're really gonna need to understand to succeed as a growth operator. And if you're someone who's been trying or struggling to even understand these tools and want to fast track your success, click that first link below and apply to work with me one-on-one. Once you have the client and you have the system, then it's actually providing the service. Now, there's 2 main funnels that I typically use as a beginner, and I'd advise you guys to use. Number 1's a webinar funnel, and the second one is a sales funnel that leads to a book to call. Now, a webinar funnel is one-to-many. It's when the client sits on a live class and students come in and leads come in and watch a presentation that you as a growth operator needs to make. So essentially all the presentation is for a webinar funnel is doing 3 things. It's selling them on the creator, selling them on the business model if it's a biz op offer, and last but not least, selling them on themselves. Selling them on themselves is very, very, very crucial. You have to understand that a lot of people have limiting beliefs, in that if you don't get them over these limiting beliefs in the presentation, you're gonna hop on sales calls and you're gonna have issues closing them with your closers. So those are the 3 main things you need to focus on when it comes to a webinar funnel. The next one is some sort of sales call funnel. This is maybe just a direct book to call, or maybe like a free training funnel that leads them to a sales call with setters and closers. This is honestly one of my favorite type of funnels, and the reason for that is because you have more control over the lead, right? So once they opt into whatever your free training or your lead magnet is, then you can just simply call them up and then qualify them on the phone, or you could just have them book a call straight up if it's your offer style. So those are the 2 main funnels right there. Now, there is no right or wrong or how you decide to go about these. Some work better for others, others work better for others. Now, once you understand and you've picked out your funnel, you have your client, you understand the system, then it's simply just scaling them to the moon. Basically just testing things out, because you can know all the systems in the world, have the client, but if you don't actually scale and actually work towards getting them to where you want to go, obviously none of this is going to work together. Now, once you have that completing, it's just a recycle process of getting a new client, increasing your prices, and continuing to scale. And then eventually, when you get to the point where your agency as a whole is doing like $100,000 a month, that's when you hire people like a sales manager, a copywriter, or maybe a systems guy onto your agency. Another thing that I want to talk about is like actually payment structure and how you want to work this around. Now, the way that I currently do payment is an upfront payment just to setting up all the system, and a percentage of how much money is cash collected. Now, if you're starting out, you may not be good enough to demand a upfront payment. You may just have to stick with some sort of commission or percentage of how much money is collected, and that's completely fine. As a beginner, your main goal is to get that first client and get them results. Once you do that, then you can start demanding an upfront payment. And the next thing I want to tell you guys is that you need to have contracts with these clients. And the reason why I say that's not because they're untrustworthy, it's because there's a lot of back and forth when it comes to with payments, because some things may be finance, others, someone may have used a credit card, someone may have used a debit card, and the fees may be 5% with this, 10% with that, and it highly depends. And I don't want any single one of you guys to have issues with the clients where the one person feels like they're not getting paid enough. So you need to have this on a contract that is very, very clear, that the percentage that you take is how much you cash collect, not including fees, none of that. It is how much you cash collect take home by yourself. So that's pretty much how I got to where I currently am right now as a growth operator. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you're someone who wants to fast track your success and are struggling to getting the client, I'm offering you access to my one-on-one mentorship, where I do guarantee you a client as a growth operator. What you need to do is go down below, click that first link and apply to my Typeform. If you qualify, you're gonna have access to book a call with me personally within the next few days. If that's you, that's cool, we'll hop on a call. If that's not you, like the video, comment down below what type of changes or what type of videos you want to see next. Other than that, until next time.